You know, as you've seen, if you've been checking out all the segment, again, there's so many ways of filling. The one I'm about to show you right now is really cool. Called burn-in sticks. Now, this is something used predominantly by furniture companies. It's kind of a commercial thing, but it's not something you can't do, believe me. And what it is they have shellac sticks. Some will call them lacquer sticks. This one's a clear. Now, if you go back and you watch the segment we did on knots and whatever, this is actually that little loose knot I was showing you that was in there. And if you watch the one where we used the two-part epoxy to reach down to the bottom and pull the color out by using the two-part epoxy on it, you'll get the gist of this. Now, I'm taking this knot out because it's loose. It's not going to stay. But if I just want to make that look like kind of a dark knot hole, of course, the first thing I would do would be to, clean it and make sure I've got good adhesion and all that. That's always, that's a given on anything you're filling. And they make these shellac sticks in all kind of colors. Now basically what this amounts to is you have to melt it. This is called a burn-in knife. And you melt it and you flow it in to your defect. Now, one of the tricks that I've always found, again, we're going to use butane. Do not use a regular cigarette lighter. And I'm just going to warm it. And the only reason I don't want to fry it, I just want to warm it. I want to liquefy it good. And the main reason for that is I want to make sure I get down in there good. Now that's still a little liquidy, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take a little cloth and cool it. Then I'm going to flow a little bit more on there. And just like filling anything, overfill it a little bit, let it dry. Better term, let it cool. Now, here's one. This is the one. This is kind of a pretty nasty knot. But if I wanted to maintain what we will call the integrity of the knot, meaning I want it to look like that knot, but I want a smooth surface. Now, probably a better choice perhaps would be to use a little bit of pour-on epoxy because it's going to soak down there and get everything good and firm and hard. But this works pretty well. And what I'm going to do, this is a clear. And that's what I was referring to when we were talking about using that two-part epoxy and getting in there. And be careful, that stuff gets hot. Of getting in there and using a clear over something just to build up the surface, but yet we're picking our color up from the bottom. The knife cool down just a little bit. Now, one of the other things with the clear is, like we talked a lot about epoxies and 5-minute epoxies and whatever, is if you don't get it melted, it can get opaque and can get kind of cloudy on you. So this again is where we can come back with our butane. And just warm it. Now you see I'm staying back off of it. I'm not trying to fry it. I keep saying that because you can get it too hot. And I'm just kind of warming it to clarify it. You know, the same thing kind of applies, you know, with an epoxy. A butane torch will help an epoxy clear because it helps get the air, you know, the carbon dioxide helps to do it. I mean, you can exhale on it too, but see, this stuff sets up pretty fast. All right, this is one I just kind of quickly knocked down with a scraper. I didn't get a full fill on it. I was just playing with it to show you. But you can see it looks like a knot. This is the one we just did, and it's still too cool too hot to sand. But as you can well see, when that's sanded down, looks like a knot. I mean, you can see down in there, so you're seeing all the inside of that knot. That's the cool part of it. Burn-in sticks, shellac sticks. They're pretty quick. They do a nice job. Again, the biggest issue with them is you want to make sure you get yourself an assortment because it's all in the color. And make sure you can intermix and play with colors and don't rely on a name.